actually sucks.
Yep, and we're jumping right in. Our first ban coming out from Point Defense is going to be Wukong, and then next ban coming out from Llamas is Yorick. So again, nothing too surprising here yet. Just two fairly strong bans, I would say, in the Dominion scene.
Yeah, definitely, and then also the Darius ban as well. I mean, the Wukong we just saw from the last game, really mobile as well, especially with a Nimbus Strike and not into pretty much anything of his kit and skills. I mean, it really helps out, as well as his passive, which makes him a little bit tanky. If you guys don't know, Wukong's passive, for each enemy champion he's near, he gained an extra 5 armor, so I mean, that is possibly 20 armor at top lane, or over at the windmill. I mean, that's pretty solid as well for that first big engagement. So Wukong definitely a big target. We're gonna have Darius be banned out as well. Kassadin be banned out as well. Wow, there is no Kassadin play today for DominateDominion number 8, and Urgot being banned out as well. Yeah, I mean, pretty standard bans, I would say, if you're playing Dominion.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these champs have been pretty much highlighted one way or another in their strengths. I mean, we did get to see Urgot earlier, we got to see Wukong earlier, and they did well. I mean, of course, we haven't seen Kassadin, we haven't seen Darius, but that's just because they're known to be the terrors. I mean, Yorick, not only is he a terror in every game type, but he's also just annoying to deal with. He has those goals, he has that ultimate. If you can help it, you just don't want to see him on the map against you. And we do see the final ban. It's going to be Jax, who, of course, again, a very strong bruiser, fairly mobile with Leaf Strike, has an AoE stun, can get in and get out, is pretty tanky if you need to kind of disrupt under a tower or such. Just has a lot of utility coming into this game, and we're gonna see Warwick be the first pickup for Team Point Defense.
You know, definitely the Warwick, a really strong initiator with that infinite duress, is going to be really useful for capping / setting the tone for any team fight at the windmill, but also with the Hungry Strike. I mean, he is pretty tanky as well over there. We are going to be seeing and shown a Pantheon+Lulu. Again, that Lulu pick is really dangerous. I mean, I can't stress enough with Glitter Lance, I mean, and health picks. You can just pretty much aggress over on an enemy team and delay the point capping from a really far range, and that's really cool to see from what Warwick is going to be playing again for that Lulu. Pantheon in Dominion, though, what do you think about that, Toodles? I've actually never seen a Pantheon being played for Dominion.
Pantheon is personally my favorite champion in the game, and he's also my favorite playing Dominion. He's solid. He's not particularly bannable material, but he's definitely always a solid pick. His kit brings a lot to the table. He has CC, he's got a global, he's got a finisher, and he's just got a lot of AoE damage.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to agree with that. I actually got to see Pantheon, I believe. If not, we went into some in-depth analysis of why Pantheon is good on Dominion 2 weeks ago on here for DominateDominion number 6. And yeah, I mean, Toodles said it. Every part of his kit, every skill is something you want to see in Dominion. He has a global presence, and of course the global ultimates. In Summoner's Rift, you can say the range got nerfed, but on a map like the Crystal Star or Twisted Treeline, even with that smaller range, it's pretty much entirely global. And then he has the crit finisher from the passive Heartseeker Strike. He has the range poke from his spear throws, and then Heartseeker Strike is AoE, and he has a stun for initiating or kind of kiting and running away. So we'll see how that comes through. We do see Blitz and then Ryze being picked up by Point Defense.
Yeah, Blitz is going to be a really strong pick just to disrupt and disable anyone trying to point cap and everything. So that's going to be a really interesting pick for just a support as well. But Ryze is going to be picked up as well. I mean, I guess he could be played as a little bit as a bottom lane, but he can be really an interesting top laner. Again, not one of his choices I usually see as well. Toodles, Ryze. Is it a really good pick, or is it just like a very defensive pick?
Ryze is also an extremely strong champion on Dominion. He's bannable material, doesn't get banned, usually unless it's a targeted ban, aka an enemy on the team is really good with Ryze and you don't want him to get him. He just brings a lot to the table with the correct build and correct runes and masteries and everything. He's just a dangerous mage.
Yeah, definitely indeed. And then we do see a Kog'Maw and Alistar pickup right now. We are showing a Malphite and Ezreal being played each game. We've been actually casting. But the Kog'Maw Alistar, what do you think, Chobra? Good stuff?
I mean, we talked about Alistar so far in the previous matches. He just has so much. He's so defensive, but he can also kind of initiate if he needs to. He can get so tanky. I mean, earlier we saw an Alistar pretty much surviving and postponing a tower cap for so long, using Unbreakable Will at the very last second of his health, living even longer. And Kog'Maw, I mean, not only does Kog'Maw hit hard, but he has so much range. I mean, he can use his Bio-Arcane Barrage, where he can go Living Artillery and disrupt from just a far range. Or, if they're trying to cap a point, he can try to start whittling down the enemy's health from across, the walls, especially if he goes top in that windmill. It can be either from the health relic or from the bottom portion there, and just kind of kite and poke the enemy team across the walls, bringing them down, and then waiting for his team to be able to initiate.
Yeah, definitely indeed. And we do have a Malphite pick up and Ezreal actually locked in, so that's really cool. I was about to say, Kog'Maw really, I mean, when I played Dominion for a little bit, wasn't really picked up that much. And it makes sense that, Kog'Maw would actually be really good. I mean, with the level 3 start, the worst thing about him is his early game for a little bit, but with that level 3 start, once you get to level 6, you have that immense range with the Bio-Arcane Barrage and the Living Artillery. So it's like it's like you're having yourself just filter from 1,000 range, I guess that's pretty much it, where you can just filter away and just not take any damage as well. So, I mean, Kog'Maw is really undersold really as a champion that's really good in Dominion. Is that right, Toodles? Or I mean, Kog'Maw is played a lot, I'm guessing too.
He's not per se a popular champion in Dominion, but he's definitely a strong pick. And I don't think a lot of people at high end play him, but in tournaments anyway. Mm-hmm. But a lot of potential.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. I think, Kog'Maw's kit, we kind of tore it apart, and that's where his strength lies. But even on Summoner's Rift, I think the main thing with Kog'Maw is he kind of needs a team built around him. In any game mode, in any map, he really only brings damage and range. He has a slight disengage on Voidoos, but that's really about it. If you catch on to a Kog'Maw, he can't really build tanky, because to build his stats are so low defensively that to build tanky he would need to sacrifice too much of his damage to do so. It's not like say the new champion Draven can kind of get away by building just a Frozen Mallet for some extra tankiness and chasing power, whereas Kog'Maw just needs to stack damage on top of damage to bring what he brings best to the team fight, or in Dominion, to kind of really siege the enemy under certain towers and such. We'll be able to see if Llamas can pull that off going against point defense here. We're looking at the summoner spells now. Once again, we discussed it, revive pretty much on every champion except for Warwick being played by F-Drew, choosing to go Garrison and Exhaust, which are two other spells we highlighted as very important on the Crystal Skull.
I think, what was it last week? Yeah, Genner said, the summoner spells are really honed on to a team effect. Ignite's nice, but what does it do for the team? Ghost is nice, but what does it really do for your team? It just only does it for yourself. So really a different kind of mindset when you're in Dominion, that you actually have to really build for the team and really think about that. And it really does start out with your summoner spells. I mean, Revive is really there just because, you can't really counter Revive if you don't have a Revive. So really interested to see that F-Drew is going to be doing this, but we'll see if that's going to be happening really soon. Again, this is Dominate Dominion number 8 here with Chobra. I'm going to be L3RD, just, saying some words and getting in there with him. But, check out DominateDominion.com. It is a website where you can go sign up for the next one. And also check out Facebook.com/DominateDominion to, get some more updates, as well as help out, give some more awesomeness to DominateDom/TheFeedSki for, hosting / doing this event / making a really good community with Dominion.
Yep. Good to see a rising community, especially on a game mode that has so much potential. Again, I said it earlier, I just don't think enough players put in as much time to really get to know and then learn to love Dominion. It kind of just became a thing on the side for many of the players who have been playing a long time on Summer's Rift. But of course, League of Legends is always drawing in new players, and these are the players who are going to look at all three modes, try them out, and say, I like this one the most, and that's going to help each game mode really grow on its own. we are pretty much now winding down on this countdown. But I did want to kind of ask Toodles what your opinion on Draven was in terms of Dominion play.
You know what, due to work and real life circumstances, I haven't really been able to play a lot since he's been out. I actually haven't seen him in a game yet. I heard good things from him, and I also have seen the video and he looks interesting. But no input from me.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I actually haven't seen him that much even on Summoner's Rift. There was quite a bit of hype about him, but at the same time, I don't think a lot of people got to purchase him. Maybe just a lot of people just haven't been able to play beforehand because of whatever real life situations. They don't have the IP or whatnot. But yeah, I actually haven't seen him that much except for on release day, of course, when all the people who buy the new champion are gonna try to fit in as many games as possible.
I would think he would do really well in Dominion, hopefully, just because he does have like a supposedly mini Ash ult, but it's actually a global ult as well, so he can disrupt from anywhere and actually tears up damage all around. So it's really cool to see that ultimate, and I think that mobility from Draven really helps out with his W active. So it's really cool to see these new champions kind of come into Dominion and actually add a little bit of an element. Is Draven the 100th champion they made, or is that like 99?
So it's gonna be, the next champion is going to be 100, and a lot of people have high hopes of something epic coming in. But I'm not so sure. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, we do load into this match again on blue team. This is going to be Team Point Defense. Playing Ryze, it's going to be Sauron. Playing Blitzcrank, we have MMKH, F Drew on Warwick for Point Defense, and the last two players are Captain Blueberry on Malphite with Zabers on Ezreal. Who's on the purple team?
We're going to have NiaX87 with that Pantheon, Warwick with that Lulu, played that game last game really solidly, but Landon with the Alistar pick, Half-Hearted playing that Urgot last game. He's going to be playing this Kog'Maw this game, and Lysic, but not lastly, but leastly, or I said not leastly, but lastly, is going to be playing the Morgana at bottom lane. Sorry about that. Picture and words happen, sometimes birds get mixed up.
Alright, so we're looking at some starting items. Morgana starting with a Chalice. Most likely now with the option being available, going to be built into the team's Unholy Grail if the game continues onward. Otherwise, not seeing. I mean, we see Lulu again with that Mana Manipulator start, and then the Ruby Crystal. So gonna be really useful with that aura in top lane. It's gonna allow Pantheon to kind of spam a little bit more than he would be able to on his own. Alistar can kind of spam his heals. Kog'Maw's gonna be able to spam his W whenever it comes up, and then once they hit level 6, of course that Living Artillery is also gonna come out. So we're gonna have Ryze versus Morgana bot lane. The other members of each team are going to go straight towards the windmill up here at the top tower. Warwick and Pantheon are going to be the ones designated to take that mid tower on their way up. Blitzcrank gets up here first, starts a little bit of the cap, but of course they're going to now start trading back and forth, just taking turns on putting out damage and then also picking up some ticks on this tower up at the windmill.
Yeah, we're going to see NiaX87 actually accidentally delayed his middle cap over there for his team and actually had to come back a little bit slower from the drill. So we're going to see a pull come from MMKH, and here we go with the Whimsy going to be used at Warwick. Warwick is going to be taken down pretty easily, and we're going to see the re-engage on Captain Blueberry onto Half-Hearted, but Half-Hearted doing some major damage back. And see Captain Blueberry taking a lot of damage, but not going to be doing anything. MMKH going to try to get the cap. Great job by Zaber picking up that kill onto Pantheon, and it is going to be the cap from Point Defense for him.
And then immediately Pool comes out onto Alistar. Now with the help of tower damage, they're going to pick out that Alistar for an extra kill. And I just want to mention, MMKH is playing that very smart. As soon as Captain Blueberry went back in, normally people would worry because Captain Blueberry was running so low. But MMKH knew that that was just extra time for them to stall and be able to cap that point, at which point the enemy team has to make a tough decision. Do we want to try to just commit full on to pick up this kill onto Malphite, or do we want to try to get around him to disrupt this cap? They continued doing that trade-off back and forth, eventually picking up the windmill for blue team, and now they're gonna have the lead in terms of Nexus energy. Meanwhile, we see MMKH and Captain Blueberry kind of setting up next to the Storm Shield here in the middle. Warwick is going to be seen taking his own teams and now going to start heading towards possibly the drill, but we're just seeing a lot of kind of cat and mouse chase. Warwick is going to wait right for Pantheon. Pantheon's going to run right into him, gets the stun, and tries to run away. Can he get away fully? Tries to go for the brush juke, but is running pretty low. Warwick doesn't want to commit fully to a dive right now. The tower is right there. Kog'Maw also showing up, puts that Void Ooze over the wall to assist in Pantheon's safety. Pantheon is safe for now, but Warwick's going to be the one picking up the health relic. Pantheon's now in a lot of danger. Trying to go for the health relic, running just so low, gets infinite duress and is going to be taken out. Warwick is safe for the time being, runs away. Meanwhile, Malphite comes out with the unstoppable force, and then the grab coming out from Blitzcrank. A lot of damage onto Alistar, but Blitzcrank actually took a lot of damage himself, so he's going to also have to back off, and now it's just Neighbors sitting healthily for team point defense, while we have Kog'Maw+Lulu close to full health for team Llamas.
Llamas is going to go right up to siege up this top lane over here. Probably going to see the Pantheon all probably come in pretty soon to help out and damage onto either Zabers or MKH with his hiding in the bushes over there. Captain Blueberry going to be showing himself, going to be tanking up these turrets, and they're going to be re-pushing back so that they can reset this lane so that the minions won't be actually able to help out, try to get this windmill point rate quickly. But we are seeing the Warwick going around, being a little sneaky. We're going to see Nyax going to come in, going to get the stun onto Captain Blueberry. Captain Blueberry taking a little bit of damage, but not going to be enough really happening for Llamas over there. Yeah, they're just kind of sieging up. I was about to say, you know, what to be the team engagement / thing for Llamas to do, but I think we're going to be going in engagement because Warwick's going to come in, use health picks to use it aggressively onto Captain Blueberry. Captain Blueberry cannot really do too much from that, and we're going to see the siege up still from Llamas with that living artillery poke from Half-Hearted.
Yep, Captain Blueberry also used the garrison as the minions. There were quite a few pushing up against the tower just to ensure that they tried to hold on to this point as long as they can. They got that early cap in the beginning, and they have been slowly chipping away at the enemy nexus's health. So the longer they can hold this, the more advantage they will have. You know, they haven't had to use Revive yet, but Revive is up for pretty much everyone except for Lulu and Pantheon, who are forced to use it a little bit later in that skirmish. Pantheon is going to jump right on Zabers, but now going to take a lot of tower damage. The huge fight is going to come out from Lulu to knock off a Warwick as he was using Infinite Duress. Blitzcrank running pretty low. It has to run with a Mana Barrier on, but is now coming back as he sees the team fight turning, but now Mana Barrier is about to run out, so he's going to back out while Ezreal picks up a double kill. They're going to continue chasing. Unstoppable Force comes out to Kog'Maw. He's going to get knocked up right away, not able to pick up the kill onto Malphite. He's going to try to stick around and do as much damage to the enemy as possible with a Kassadin surprise, but it's not going to be enough to make anything else happen.
Great re-push by point defense. Again, started by MMKH, getting that one Blitzcrank grab, and really helped out to re-push that game. I mean, right now point defense is still holding up this top windmill really soon. Toodles, what do you think that Llamas has to do to kind of get that point / kind of regain control of this game?
Something I would try if I was in their shoes right now is sending a few bottom. It'll kind of shake up what's been going on lately, which was just the top push, which a lot of people kind of zone into. But if you're playing on the enemy team and you know where they're going, it's just too easy to counter it. You have to keep them guessing.
Yep, and as you spoke, we see Pantheon has jumped down with the man drop, but it was quite unsuccessful. The ultimate didn't hit, and now Alistar's actually going to get caught as he's trying to make his way back towards his teammates. Blitzcrank also cut off Lulu on that path. He's landed running quite low. Infinite Duress does come out. Alistar running now below a quarter health. Pantheon comes in with the stun onto Warwick, but Alistar is going to get finished off eventually. The True Shot Barrage also coming down for any extra assistance that is necessary. The Dark Binding does catch Warwick though. Across the wall, Warwick now going backwards. I'm trying to juke them through the brushes, also trying to meet up with his teammates. Malphite is going to come back out at full health and be able to deny the chase. Meanwhile, Ryze was able to push that bot lane out towards the enemy tower, but Morgana is going to kind of take away those creeps quite easily with Tormented Soil. Also now using Garrison to ensure that the health of the tower is going to regen as soon as possible after the minions are taken care of.
Yeah, Graveyard going to be respawn pretty much to full health for Llamas really quickly, but they tried to send, I guess, a little too many at bottom, and they got caught in the interim, the transition, where Alistar and Lulu did get caught by the cheese run and by the relic. And here we go with the engage from Captain Blueberry. Great job, and the pull going to go right on the Half-Hearted. Half-Hearted is going to be taken down pretty easily, and we're going to see Zaber's going to be trying to back away, kite away at Nyax 87. 87 is going to go down. Double kill from Zaber Z. We're going to see the re-engage. When's going to be used to try to get Volana out, but Warwick is going to go take a lot of damage. Is Volana going to go down really soon or not? I'm going to use the ultimate is Ezreal, but it is going to be Warwick actually picking up that kill, and Warwick's going super low, but not going to be taken away.
Yeah, I mean, everyone from point defense also ran low throughout the entirety of that fight, and Kog'Maw did use his revive to come back, and, you know, very, very good choice on for Kog'Maw. It was just one person, but that's all it took to kind of kite them away as they kept focusing down onto Lulu. He was able to get up enough damage to scare them away, and they didn't get to even neutralize this tower at the drill. So it's still 3-2, but, you know, that's going to really add up as time goes on. The energy for the purple teams next has been taken down. Blitzcrank is actually hiding here. Lulu's going to run right into the Blitzcrank's going to get the knockup, and then the AoE silence also catches Pantheon as he's trying to run away. Alistar does come in with the pulverize, but is it going to be enough to save Nice 87? Nice 87 is going to run as fast as he can. Now they're going to try to focus on the Warwick. Warwick getting caught behind. Alistar also getting caught a little bit behind. True Shot Barrage comes out, picks up the kill onto Pantheon. Meanwhile, Warwick completely focused on chasing down this Lulu. Malphite came in from the other part, the top part of the map, trying to start the cap. The garrison does go down, but he then decides to turn and try to focus down this Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is going to pick up the kill onto Malphite, but meanwhile, Infinite Duress and then the exhaust. Kog'Maw, can he get out to his base? Really, really good void use by Kog'Maw, putting it ahead of him so the enemy cannot continue chasing it into his base.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, right now, yeah, I think Llamas getting at the 4 cap right now, and they're going to try to go back at top for point defense. I mean, it was just to cap it so that I can lose a little bit more points, because there's no way they're going to defend this. But Llamas right now, I don't know, but they are pretty. I'm pretty sure in Psyche they're kind of shaking up right now, trying to get away from this. Nyax actually going to be caught up by Captain Blueberry. Blueberry going to get it in with that the relic right now, doing major damage, getting the knockup on Supplemental Force on both members of Volana and Warwick, and to delay that capture just a little bit more. And you know what? Point of Defense is just trying to delay this as much as they can, just to utilize, actually maximize the points on this neutralize right now.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything maybe Morgana could do to try to help the team, where Morgana's just doing all she can? As this team fight happens in bot lane, Morgana and Ryze have been going at it, kind of a push back and forth tug of war. Meanwhile, Lulu being chased into her own summoner platform is going to get out safely for the time being. But Toodles, what do you think? Is there anything Morgana could be doing right now other than trying to defend this tower on her own?
Right now, Morgana's doing her job very well. She's, you know, keeping the lane neutral with Sauron, playing Ryze. No easy tasks. Doing well. Definitely, Llamas is losing this game up top.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. And we do see the mana drop going from Nyax, and he's going to try to get Zaber. Zaber is just out of mana, cannot do anything, gets shut down pretty easily. We see Sauron probably get picked up as well. Lysick probably could go down, using that Dark Shield to actually try to get away from the damage of Ryze. Great job by W killing is Nyax 87. But that did kind of leave this upper right point, the drill, to be taken away, and Warwick is taking a lot of damage right now from Blueberry and F-Drew.
Oh man.
But F-Drew's going to come back right back at it, half-hearted, and try to get in there. Morgana actually gets picked off by Ezreal with the revive, so we're going to see what's going to happen. Nyax is going to try to go on to Captain Blueberry. Pulverize coming up as well. Living Artillery doing a lot of damage. I'm not going to get the kill onto this, but that is not too bad, because technically a kill isn't the best thing in this little moment. But the capture and the objective capture from point defense going to be used for the Boneyard, and it's going to be a really, really solid lead for point defense right now.
All that damage coming down onto Lulu. Lulu's going to escape once more, though, and Pantheon's now going to come up with this stun. Just ready to stun whoever he can, but they don't want to dive the tower just yet until the rest of their team shows up. Point defense in hot pursuit, though, and Blitzcrank, actually being played by MKH, is going to go ahead and clear this wave and push that minion coming down from the windmill to help capture the drill, which is going to force Kog'Maw back into defense mode on the drill. Meanwhile, Garrison is on the Boneyard here in the bottom right. Sauron running quite low, but still sticking around. You know, at this point they're still ahead. They just want to stall, as we've been seeing other teams doing. They are ahead. As long as they can stall the caps, it's better than running away in fear of dying. At this point, the towers are much more important. They're scaring off Kog'Maw. They capture Alistar outside his own summoner platform. Meanwhile, Ezreal picks up a kill. Sauron once again running low, but if he can keep the enemy focused on him the entire time, and then now they're forced to spend time killing F-Drew, that's more time for their Nexus to tick away at the health of the enemy's Nexus. Meanwhile, also all three members left on point defense are going to capture the drill to continue this 4 cap, which was currently momentarily a 5 cap, and that may just finish the game right there.
Yep, that is probably going to be the GG, and great job to point defense taking this game.
Wow, so a lot of games just, it was intense, but in the end, the score was still 472-0. Point defense got that first cap at the windmill, leading 3-2, and they were able to hold on to that until the enemy's Nexus health went down to around the 200 range before they began to push in towards enemy territory.
And that was a really good trade-off they did over the draw and the boneyard, where they actually captured the objective from point defense. And I mean, the level of play from point defense is just, I mean, we saw Llamas just go 498-0 pretty much to the last team, and now, Llamas just gets 472 to point defense. I'm like, yeah, point defense just, I mean, they are one of the champions, and they are pretty much just there at the top echelon of Dominion